Hello, YouTube, and my few subscribers. I appreciate you watching the videos up until this point. I wanted to come to you with a small, brief update. I will be doing a longer video in the future, maybe somewhat near future, depending on time and whatnot. But I did complete 9 months of the Cowden Protocol. I uh, started feeling better around month 7. Some of the stuff I had mentioned previous to that, I had a cold and kind of got over it and felt better. Felt better for a couple months as per protocol descriptions. Not totally better at all by any means, but substantially a little better. Substantially a little better is how I would describe it. And I then stopped the protocol, which was fine. There's a couple of things I still like to use from the Cowden protocol from Nutrimedics. The EZOB in particular is really great for sleeping. I do take that for sleeping. That's probably the number one thing that I'm continuing to use on a regular basis. Um, would I recommend you do the Cowden protocol? And that really depends. I don't know. The answer to that is I don't know. Did it work? For me, it did not work. I wanted to give it a few months and see how things went. And I would say that it did not completely work. And I'll address some of this in a later video, but I think the Cowden protocol is probably really good for folks who have latent Lyme or chronic Lyme issues, which is what it's designed to address, which means Borrelia burgdorferi infections. And that's specifically what it's for. During this time, I've been doing a lot of research, reading a lot of articles, journals about microbiology, and doing some research into some other protocols and things. And what's really come to my attention is that the major contributor to what folks are calling Lyme disease is most likely a Bartonella infection, Bartonellosis, Bartonellinosis. So Bartonella is a very interesting bacteria. It's recently been found that it can be carried by ticks. They are a vector for Lyme disease as well as a number of other tick-borne illnesses. One of them is Bartonella. They're also finding a lot more Bartonella strains that are being carried out. So there's a really good article. I'll try to link it, but there's a nice journal article that was done by Tulane University Microbiology proving this stuff, and then there's some other articles where folks overseas were being bit by sand flies, folks in the military, and they're coming back with incurable depression and PTSD and a number of other very Lyme-like symptoms, but it turns out that they are infected with some level of Bartonella that there isn't really a cure for. So as time goes on and as research continues to move forward, I think that's what really needs to be addressed. So I am continuing to be engaged with Hopkins and NIH and a number of other physicians, care providers, but um, stuff is still a little bit rough. Post the protocol, things are a little bit back to normal. The protocol at first made me feel much worse. I think that was due to the flare-ups that it was causing, kind of the flushing action, and then I stopped. Things were a little better for a little while. There's been some medication changes that I've also made that have been some helpful, some not helpful, and I'm continuing to deal with it. So things lately have really been, I still have a headache. I've had it now for 8 or 9 years. It's going on. I have body aches, joint aches every day. Chronic fatigue issues are really bad. Some anxiety stuff. I mean, basically all the same stuff that I discussed in previous videos. So, too long, didn't read listen version of this is Cowden may be good for you. Cowden may not be good for you. You kind of have to try it and find out. There's no really good test for Bartonella infections. That's one of the problems. Doesn't come up in PCRs, Western blots. Most of the time it can be missed. There's very specific ways to do it, but it's not something that's widely offered. Very not widely offered. So that's what I've got for now. I won't keep this. I'll keep this to being a shorter video. I just feel like I need to get something up here so that folks have some closure. But does it work? It didn't for me. And would I recommend it? That's up to you. But there are some good things to it. But I wouldn't do it again. If you have any questions, feel free. You can email me. As always, I do appreciate it when you get some emails. I do have a Patreon if you want to be the first supporter. That would be awesome. Might have a little bit more time to do these videos that way, but I have a whole set of month 9 of the Cowden Support Program unopened in a box. So if anybody becomes a Patreon supporter, I don't know, maybe in a few weeks or a month, I will do a random drawing of whoever I have as Patreon supporters, and I will send you the box unopened from Nutrimetics that contains all of the Cowden Support Program month 9 items. So you can look up on Nutrimetics' website and see what that contains, but I'll pick somebody from my Patreon supporters, and I'll just mail it to you, free of charge. So I don't know what they cost anymore. It's been a couple months. I think it's like $400 or something. So anyway, little contest for all 10 of you that watch these videos. Anyway, appreciate your support. Lyme guy out. Take care. Be well.